Malheur National Wildlife Refuge was created in 1908 by President Theodore Roosevelt. Here, 180,000 acres are preserved as a breeding ground for native birds. In addition to breeding and nesting, this area is a crucial stop for migration of endangered wildlife. Nearby the town of Burns is the Malheur Wildlife Refuge headquarters. This is a good first stop of many birding options available on the refuge. Quickly after entering, you will hear the hundreds of birds singing in the area. The headquarters has a few buildings for education and research. There are also some good viewpoints here for birding. While the refuge has many varieties of wildlife, today we are focusing on birds only. Malheur has seen a little over 300 different species of birds. The ones you see when visiting will depend on the time of year and your own patience. One of the main attractions at the refuge headquarters is Marshall Pond. This pond hosts a large variety of bird wildlife. Once this habitat was diminished by invasive carp. Carp ate aquatic vegetation and harmed the water quality. Efforts were made to remove the invasive carp and the habitat was restored again. American Coot was the first bird we identified as it was very common in the pond. This bird has a black body with a white bill. They are found in marsh habitats, feeding off bugs and vegetation from the surface mostly. Often mistaken for a duck, it is actually part of the rail family. As it is not a duck, it also does not have webbed feet. It makes up for that by rhythmically extending its neck to propel through the water. Coots gather for migration in spring and fall throughout Oregon. You can see in this shot a group of geese flies away while the coots stay together. Cinnamon teal were a lot more scarce in the pond, but stuck out thanks to their bright red colors. The males have a brown and red coat with a bright red eye, while the females have a brown coat similar to a female mallard. These ducks feed off insects and plants in shallow water. Another more common duck in the pond is the mallard. Males are distinct from their female counterparts with their green heads and bright yellow bills. Mallards are one of the more well-known ducks because of their tolerance of human disturbance. While they are usually pretty slow, they have been known to fly up to 70 miles per hour. The last bird is the largest in Marshall Pond, the Canada goose. We all see a lot of these as they are also tolerant of humans. These geese like to stand on one leg while resting. They alternate legs to manage fatigue and body temperature. There is a lot of variation in the Canada goose, as there are 11 subspecies. They are primarily herbivores, though sometimes they eat insects and fish. They are often seen two at a time, but they are known to fly in a V formation when migrating in big groups. After searching the pond for wildlife, it was time to look to the trees to see more birds. The red-winged blackbird was the most abundant and making the most noise at the refuge. Singing to mark its territory, the red-winged blackbird also physically defends against predatory flyers. This bird has a black body with a red, orange, and yellow bar on its wing. This bird is also sexually dimorphic, which means that the female looks completely different from the male. Naturally, they eat insects, but will also feed on vegetation and seeds if given the chance. We see them up in trees, but their nests tend to be down low where the vegetation is at. Red-winged blackbird was the most common bird in the area, just as it is in many marshes in Oregon. The song sparrow was harder to capture as they were less abundant and very quick. These birds generally stay low to the ground to forage. Males are known to get up on perches for singing. The most fierce-sounding bird of the day was the red-tailed hawk. They can be found nesting up in a tall tree or soaring high while hunting for small animals. Though an impressive animal, this is a common hawk that you can spot almost anywhere in North America. It was almost time to leave the headquarters when a refuge employee pointed out another bird. Camouflaged and hidden in a tree were two great horned owls. This large and powerful bird is also one of the most common owls. They usually eat small mammals, but they have been known to take down animals larger than themselves. Though they look pretty similar, the female great horned owl is larger than the male, while the male has a louder voice. They have large yellow eyes with big black pupils that open widely for night vision. Their eyes do not move around in their sockets, but the head can turn in any direction. As it can survive almost anywhere, this owl can be found throughout North America. Four of these tall lookouts are situated in the refuge. This one is hardly used as a lookout today, but it does help provide internet to the area. After seeing a ton of birds at the headquarters, we started on the self-guided auto tour. The 42-mile auto tour takes you to the southern end of the refuge. This area has fields and wetlands along the Donner and Blitzen River. Easy to recognize with its yellow breast and black V-neck is the western meadowlark. This is Oregon's official state bird. The western meadowlark is one of the most colorful members of the blackbird family. The greater Sandhill crane is Oregon's tallest bird. The bird has long legs and a long neck, with a gray body and red crown. Sandhill cranes breed and forage in open prairies, grasslands, and wetlands. The cranes are opportunistic flyers that rely on thermal winds to carry them on long distances. We headed further south in hopes of finding more birds before the day was over. While at a stop, we notice a large group of black turkey vultures circling around us. These are very large-bodied, dark birds with a bald red head. The turkey vulture is known to make a hissing noise instead of a bird call. They are known to roost up in trees with large groups. They break away from their groups to forage independently. Turkey vultures only eat meat that has already been killed by something else. They are very good at seeing and sniffing out carcasses from far away. The day was almost over when we saw our last and most impressive bird. While it doesn't sound very intimidating, the bald eagle is one of the most distinct and fierce birds on the refuge. The bald eagle had a very large and high-up nest. They primarily feed on fish, but have the option to hunt for many other birds and mammals. They are also known to steal meals from other birds. The bald eagle was once at the brink of extinction due to DDT chemicals contaminating its food supply and habitat destruction. DDT was banned and other efforts were made to bring the population back from endangered status. Very fitting to end this birding trip with such an amazing bird. With 12 species identified, this was a successful late winter day of birding. The Malheur Refuge is vital to so many species of wildlife. I am thankful that people have worked so hard to make it what it is today.